Is there already a vaccine for COVID-19 and the U.S. government hiding a wide plot to kill people off? And is the next generation wireless technology, 5G, responsible for the coronavirus? Did President Trump tweet that he ordered the U.S. Treasury to send checks to Americans, but only after checking people's social media posts to make sure that they were not unfavorable to the president? And does every U.S. election year have a disease associated with it? Stay tuned as we separate fact from fiction and tell you the truth behind fake news. Hit it.
This is the Misinformation Nation podcast. Our mission to untangle the World Wide Web of fibbers, phonies, hoaxers, and humbug. And now, here is your host, John Williams.
Thank you, Eggman. Thank you, my friends. My name is John Williams. I'm a teacher, journalist, author, public speaker, all-around nice guy. And this is the Misinformation Nation podcast. We're going to dive into the latest news and information making its way around the world via social media and examine why many of these stories are not only outrageous and frightening, but they're also completely untrue. Today, I'll share a few of the most outrageous claims about the coronavirus, and I will share some tips on how you can avoid being fooled by fake news and online hoax. Back in 2000, when I wrote my first book, The Cost of Deception, exposing online myths and legends, America was bracing itself for a different viral pandemic. The dreaded Y2K bug was going to bring an end to civilization at the stroke of midnight, January 1st, 2000. As the year changed from 1999 to 2000, people expected all kinds of havoc. Instead of following 4 digits for a year, many computer programs at that time only allowed 2 digits, like 99 for the year 1999. As a result, there was a lot of panic that computers would be unable to operate when the date changes from 99 to 00. You see, people feared mainframe computer systems would fail, throwing Wall Street and banks into chaos. Airplanes were predicted to drop out of the sky. Doctors and hospitals could lose vital records on how to treat patients. And so people did all kinds of crazy things. They stored up on water and ready-to-eat meals to last 6 months. Some even cashed out all their savings, sold their homes, moved out to the country. But yet, destruction didn't ever come. Only the false prophets and the profiteers selling the survival kits came out smelling like a rose. For those who headed for the hills out of fear of the economic collapse, their reward was only despair and deception. Today's no different, but the truth faces a more formidable foe as fake news is spawning fear and mistrust. Who is right and who is left is not the debate. Who is telling the truth and who is leading us around on a leash of bias and tomfoolery? That's the question. With public guardians like newspapers dying a slow death and solid journalism up against the ropes, who will be the ones to lead us in not only what is true, but fair and just? The battle is for the hearts and the minds of the American public. Besides that, as social media users, we risk losing all credibility, and we can wind up looking pretty silly anytime we simply post, repost, or share a lot of this fake news. In a time of uncertainty, if not out-and-out panic, good people are turning to the social media for information. Unfortunately, in addition to valuable news, they're being served a toxic mixture of e-rumors, fake news, misinformation, warnings, offers, requests for help, myths, hoaxes, virus warnings, and occasionally some very humorous and inspirational stories. With the health and the well-being of the world at stake, the outbreak of the coronavirus has unfortunately spawned countless online stories promising false cures and causing panic amid uncertainty. And like a real virus, these false stories are being spread from one person to another. So let's start with the issue on top of everybody's mind right now, the coronavirus.
Corona, a virus just like Miley Cyrus. Pandemic, it's epic, need some antiseptic. It's creepy, I'm sleepy, and I'm out of TP. Corona from the CDC. Keep your distance socially. Scrub your hands quite frequently. You might get rid of it all. I wish Corona would Corona. Contagious, getting quite outrageous. Cannot go out, stuck indoors. Organize my sock drawer. I'm cranky, I'm grouchy. Hey, there's Dr. Fauci. Corona, you'll catch it fast and get rid of it slow. Bad as the Masked Singer's show. I wish Corona would go. Corona, contagious, getting quite outrageous. Cannot go out, stuck indoors. Organize my sock drawer. I'm cranky, I'm grouchy. Hey.
Like you, I have a Facebook account and usually check it several times a week. But too often I see unsubstantiated information being shared as if it were true. You see, no one bothered to check the veracity of the story. And being good-hearted people, well-meaning, many people will share these stories hoping that they're helping either friends or others. A good example of this happened recently. A friend of mine shared a Facebook post telling new mothers that if they run out of baby formula, all they have to do is call the number on the back of the can, and the company will cheerfully send them a case of formula at no cost. That sounds wonderful. Sounds great. It's not true. With the resources that I use for this podcast, I was able to debunk this story in less than a minute. By then, I'm certain the untrue story had circled the globe many times over. One of the websites that I turn to for the latest hoax information is BuzzFeed.com News. There they keep a running list of debunked coronavirus hoaxes, and so here are some of the latest headlines making the rounds. COVID-19 has many cures, including silver, vitamins, teas, essential oils. Stomach acid will kill the coronavirus if you drink enough water. A YouTube video with nearly 500,000 views advises inhaling hot air from a hairdryer to cure the coronavirus. If you can hold your breath without coughing, discomfort, stiffness, or tightness, your lungs do not suffer from fibrosis, and therefore you have no COVID-19 infection. Gargling with salt water or vinegar will eliminate the COVID-19 coronavirus. Drinking boiled garlic water will cure COVID-19. And the Red Cross is offering coronavirus home test. What makes the rumors floating around social media seem credible are because they contain just enough plausibility to seem real, especially at a time when each news cycle brings out new warnings from government and how to avoid spreading or contracting the virus. At the beginning of the podcast, I mentioned 3 fake news items that are prominent right now on social media. So let's tackle number 1. Is there already a vaccine for COVID-19 that the U.S. government is hiding in a wide plot to kill people off? And is the next generation wireless technology 5G responsible for coronavirus? No, none of it is true. While scientists and medical professionals are working to develop a vaccine to stop the spread, there's currently no vaccine available. Moreover, there's no evidence, scientific or otherwise, that 5G wireless tech has any connection to the global pandemic, a theory that's been making the rounds since the beginning of the outbreak. Nor is there any evidence of a military plot just to kill people with the virus. There was a video that was posted online featuring a pastor, his name Sandy Armstrong of Soldiers for Christ Community Church, originally streamed live on March 15th, 2020. It's gained over 1 million views. It's simply titled Pastor Sandy to the S4C family regarding coronavirus. In the videos, Armstrong claims that there is a government and military conspiracy to get people to take a vaccine for COVID-19 and die. Well, this is false. Most notably, as I've said, there's not yet a vaccine anyway. Also, he goes on to say that 5G wireless technology is behind coronavirus. Lead Stories, one of the sites that I use to debunk theories, has already done its job. Armstrong goes on saying in front of all of his followers that the information was provided to him by God from the Secret Service and the Intelligence Department. The only problem with that is the Secret Service is really part of the U.S. Treasury Department. In fact, the U.S. military right now is mobilizing people and equipment in various ways to help stem the spread of the virus. Even so, there have been many viral warnings that the military has declared or is preparing to declare martial law. No evidence whatsoever to suggest this is the case. Also, did President Trump tweet that he ordered the U.S. Treasury to send checks to Americans, but only after checking people's social media posts to make sure they're not saying bad things about the president? No, this is a satirical post. The claim appeared in a post on Facebook on March 17, 2020. The user's name, Real Fake Tweets, which should have been a giveaway that it was a hoax, but it did gain great traction on social media. Trump tweets a lot, we know, but the tweet doesn't appear in Twitter's database of tweets that Trump has tweeted. See that 5 times fast. Finally, there's been a post circulating that claims every election year in the U.S. has had a major pandemic at the same time. The post connects SARS to 2004, avian flu to 2008, swine flu to 2010, MERS 2012, Ebola 2014 and 18, Zika 2016, and coronavirus now in 2020. However, most of these diseases were discovered and spread before the election years. Some of the diseases didn't impact the U.S. and never came up in any major point in a campaign. There's no straightforward connection between national U.S. elections and pandemics. So, before you pass on an online rumor, take time to verify. This can be done by keeping a close eye on information from your local authorities and credible news sources. You can find links to these credible sources that I use to verify my information on the podcast website, Misinformation Nation, one word, misinformationnation.org. When I was working towards my journalism degree, I learned a great deal about verifying information from multiple sources and to question the credibility of the sources before I filed my stories. At a time when each day brings something that was once unimaginable, almost anything becomes easier to imagine now. In a crisis in which yesterday's unthinkable can become today's reality, is a friendly environment both for scaremongers and also hoaxers. So verify everything that you see on social media. Don't retweet or share a link until you first checked it out. Be skeptical of everything. Well, that's all the time we have now, my friends. Thank you for listening. Please visit the podcast website for the latest fraud, fake, and phony information that spreads like a virus around the world. Our website, misinformationnation.org. There you get the latest fake news updates from our Facebook and Twitter pages. Those links are on the website. Until next time, I'm John Williams. After that, I don't know who I'll be. Stay well, my friends.